Hey, how's it going, everybody? Today was a super exciting day at San Diego Comic-Con 2018. We got our first trailer for Shazam and our first trailer for Aquaman. There's a lot for us to break down, so let's just dive on in. In the beginning, we get a tiny backstory on how Arthur Curry's mother and father meet. His mother, who is an Atlantean, washes up on the shore and his father finds her. From there, they start a romantic relationship in which Arthur is born. Things to note here is that he says that his mother was a queen. She is Queen Atlanta, queen over Atlantis, and that's why she had to return home. But that makes Arthur heir to Atlantis. We then have this scene where Arthur is a kid and he's getting bullied, and it seems like this is where he might discover that he can communicate with sea animals. The animals obviously know that he's from Atlantis because the shark tries to come to its aid by breaking the glass and scaring the bullies. The next scene is of Aquaman boarding a submarine. Then he takes on two bad guys, and the two bad guys are actually believed to be Black Manta and his father. It's actually believed that in this scene he will kill Black Manta's father, and that's how Black Manta will become a villain. The next few parts of this trailer are about Aquaman's half-brother, Orm, who just so happens to be the king of Atlantis at this time as well. You see, Arthur's mother, Queen Atlanta, had to return to Atlantis so she could take the throne. Once she returns to Atlantis, she remarries an Atlantean and has a son. This son is Orm. But Arthur is the firstborn, so he has the right to the throne. And that's why you hear Mira say the only way to stop Orm from declaring war on the surface world is for Arthur to become king. They then show a king with a trident, and it's widely believed that the majority of this movie will be all about Arthur trying to regain the throne of king, but in order to do so, he has to go and find this trident. You'll notice that in the Justice League, the spear that he carried actually wasn't a trident, it actually had 5 heads. And you can see him wielding this same spear many times throughout the trailer. One of the coolest scenes, I think, is where we see Atlantis for the very first time. To me, it looks super amazing. It's bright and it's colorful, and at the same time, it looks very modern as well. This is something that could have easily gone wrong in the making of this movie, so I'm really glad that it looks as good as it does. The next few awesome scenes are of Orm and Aquaman fighting. You can hear Orm say, "My brother has come from the surface to challenge me for the throne." Again, Arthur is the firstborn, so he has the right to the throne, but Orm is the current king. So it appears that although Arthur does have the right to the throne, he does have to defeat the current king, who is Orm, to get the throne. So one super cool scene that we have here is Aquaman and Mira jumping into the trench. The Trench are one of the 7 kingdoms of Atlantis, and they are an evil species. They live in the deepest parts of the ocean. Aquaman himself even has a hard time going there because the pressure is just too much, it actually hurts him. The only thing they focus on is eating, is food. But it seems like they are for sure going to be diving down into the trench, much like they do in the comics in this movie. We get a really cool look at the Fisherman King here. It's really quick, but it's really cool because this is actually one of the more evolved kingdoms out of all the 7 kingdoms. In the EW interview, producer Peter Safran talked a little bit about the fall of Atlantis into the ocean and the separation of the 7 kingdoms. He said that after the fall of Atlantis, some kingdoms evolved and some devolved. This is one that evolved. This is a kingdom that's primarily artistic and cerebral with poets and philosophers. And as you can see with their evolution, they obviously look a lot more like fish. They have gills and even tails and are a lot like mer people. One of the coolest things about this trailer is that we actually do see a lot of these different kingdoms that are part of Atlantis. Especially at the end where we see this big underwater battle between 2 of the kingdoms. We see different people riding sharks, we see different people riding seahorses, and even some people are riding just huge sea monsters. This was all done because James Wan wanted to kind of buff up Aquaman from riding his seahorse Storm to riding a sea dragon that we've seen from Entertainment Weekly. And it looks crazy cool. I love how it looks with everybody riding the sharks and the huge seahorses and all these other monsters of the sea. I love how it all looks. And I loved how it was all filmed. James Wan wanted to really take a different approach to it, and if you look at this trailer and you look at the Justice League movie, you can tell that there's a difference. For starters, they talk just kind of like they're not even in water. It's just normal. You hear them so easily, which I love. This is one thing that James Wan really wanted to make happen and make different than the scenes that we saw in Justice League. and also the filming of the characters. Now, they weren't actually underwater when they filmed all of these scenes, they were dry. As far as them floating, their hair movement, that is all just CGI, and to me it looks very good. Overall, I think this trailer is awesome. It makes me super excited for the movie, and I actually do have hope that these movies like Aquaman, Shazam, Wonder Woman 1984, I have hope that they are actually going to be a lot better than the previous DC movies. So overall, I'm just super pumped for everything, especially Aquaman coming out this December. What did you all think of the Aquaman trailer? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date on everything happening with Aquaman, DC, Marvel, and everything superhero. Thank you so much for watching. Woof woof.